following our convoyreports.com for our news from Ottawa. We're going to be there for at least another week. We'll extend it if we need to. But the news today is from Coutts, Alberta. That is a small border crossing between Alberta and Montana, and a sympathetic echo convoy mustered there. American and Canadian truckers both upset about the forced vaccines. It would end their business. It would ruin commerce. And most importantly, it would destroy their civil liberties, which I think is the most important part, don't you? Now, there have been a lot of wonderful truckers I've gotten to know over the past week, if not in person, at least through their social media accounts. This guy is for sure one of my favorites.
Hey, Mr. Trudeau, in your last speech, you said that almost 90% of Canadians are vaccinated and they are very careful about their health and stuff like that, right? Yes, maybe almost 90% of Canadians are vaccinated, but have you ever asked them why are they getting vaccinated? Go ask them if they're getting vaccinated because of the fear of your mandates or the fear of COVID. You will know. I'll tell you, in my circle, most of my friends are families. They're getting vaccinated because of the fear of mandates to save their jobs, or they have to fly to see their families back home. All right? Go ask them and you will know that. Why are 90% of Canadians are vaccinated? Thank you so much.
He's so earnest, he's so likable, he's so real, and he's defying the official narrative in his own way because he's Sikh and he's not alt-right white supremacist. I don't think he cares about those slurs. And speaking of fighting for freedom, look at this next guy. He also happens to be Sikh too, I think. A lot of truckers are. And maybe that makes me love him all the more because I have always believed that freedom and loving freedom is a human condition, not just for this race or that race. I've always believed that everyone wants to be free. When people say China's Confucian cultural mindset is for order and rules and obedience and hierarchy, I don't want to accept that. I mean, you can point to Hong Kong and Taiwan as proof to the contrary. Those are freedom-loving places. I truly believe that every race, every human is meant to be free, and I think they know it. But sometimes the Liberal Party in Canada and the Democrats in the States seem to grab voters as soon as they immigrate here as a sort of implicit, I let you into the country, I'm a left-winger, so now vote left-wing with me as payment. So to see this next guy with his smiling face so calmly and plainly use words like rights and freedoms and liberties, I don't know, maybe it was a combination of those words and his smiling face. I literally want to hug this guy. I would hug him. He's like a Sikh Santa or something. I love this guy in a very fraternal way. How about you?
Hi, my name is Gurtek Singh. I'm from London, Ontario, and I'm here for my freedom and my rights. I love my freedom and my liberty as much as everybody does. And I hate the government telling me what to do with force. That's all I'm here for. It's about choice. It's not about vaccines. And we are all together. We are all Canadians. We are all truckers. Go ahead, truckers. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
He is walking proof that Trudeau is a liar and a smearer. Okay, but back to Alberta, the border crossing at Coutts. Truckers deciding to do something about it. I mean, if they're going to be put out of business anyways, why not, right? So they blocked the road. Now, what do we make of that? We're law abiders here, aren't we? I mean, I remember how we covered the railroad blockaders from 2 years ago.
Anti-oil protesters are putting thousands of Canadian jobs at risk and potentially bankrupting farmers, and Trudeau's Liberals are ready to negotiate with these economic and eco-terrorists instead of supporting and enforcing the rule of law.
How are these truckers blocking the road different from those Antifa types blocking the railway? It's a good question and one to consider. I have a few answers myself. The truckers have their own answers. I'll give you my answers, but first let me show you a few more facts before I comment on the facts. So I'm going to show you a series of videos now shot by Kian Simone and Sydney Fizzard, our two reporters on the scene. Here's how it started.
You've already heard about the trucker convoy, but that's not just happening in Ottawa. You see, that sparked something across the nation. And right now, we've got a trucker convoy. It's a slow roll, a Truckers for Freedom rally that's taking place at the border, stopping travel between Canada and the United States of Freedom Land. Now, this is somewhat unprecedented, and Jason Kenney himself has come out against these guys because they don't want to go through permanent medical procedures to live their daily lives. So we're going to find out what happens. We have K2 here behind the camera. He's been going out there, and tomorrow he's going to get some coverage of some of the guys here and to see some of the action that's been going on, because as we were walking through, there were barbecue pits, all sorts of stuff. So these guys, they're digging their feet in right now. They're not going anywhere until all of these mandates are lifted. And we saw a sign on the way that would tell you exactly that. So stay tuned. We're going to bring you the other side of the story. And let's go check out what this convoy looks like right now.
When it was clear that the police were coming with force, the men prayed. I thought this was powerful.
In heaven,
Hallowed be thy
hallowed
name.
be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine art the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen.
The men had a discussion as a sort of town council, and then they had a vote on what to do.
I'm with you on it. There's no weakening, guys.
They can
No
leave.
weakening.
They can leave. But the only way I'm leaving is in a cruiser.
Yes.
There you go.
You know
I
what?
have to
You
spirit
100%.
here.
That's right.
You know what?
Who's
We're on
with
here.
it?
So who's gonna stay? I'm
Who's
staying.
staying? Who's staying? Who's staying?
And they decided to stay. They acknowledged it was going to end with the law coming for them. One man said he knew he would only leave in a police car. That's one of the differences between principled, conscientious objectors, passive resistance, civil disobedience, versus the anonymous saboteurs of railroad tracks who are really just looking to derail a train and run away. These men in coots, like Gandhi himself, knew they were breaking the rules and knew they would be punished for it and decided that was fine. The injustice of the laws was too much to bear passively or even consensually. That saying nothing wasn't an option and that complying wasn't an option, and so the morality of the universe required them to call themselves lawbreakers, since the law was so odious. In this case, a new segregation, a new ghettoization, a new apartness, or as they would say in Afrikaans, apartheid. That's too much to accept, and a ticket or a fine or a charge, even a criminal charge, was the price they would pay, and that by making the so-called justice system process them, the system itself would be revealed to be wrong or broken, and maybe it would therefore be amended. That's what Gandhi did. It only works in democracies, though. Stalin, Hitler, Mao, Xi Jinping, they would just kill or imprison Gandhi. Only the British could be appealed to through their consciences. That's what these truckers are hoping. But it's not all for nothing. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.